Well, hello, and Christ is in our midst. As you can see, we have all kinds of restoration, renovation, repair work going on in the church. Big scaffolds. I'll show you how it all looks. Scaffolding, painting. And it's right now a great big mess. With workers and ladders and plastic coverings. A lot of work has already been done, and lots more is still to be done. And because all the work is going on, we're not going to be able to have our regular services until it's all finished. That's what happens with this kind of restoration work. But many men and women are working to make things look beautiful. And this gives me a chance to talk about Great Lent, because fixing things up is really what Great Lent is also about. Fixing up what's going on inside our own hearts and our own life. In a restoration of the church, like you see going on, they use various kinds of tools. They have paint, they have ladders, they have scaffolds, they scrape. Those are the tools that they use to make things beautiful. So in the beginning, it all looks, as I said, looks like a mess. There's a lot of work going on, but in the end, it'll be beautiful because they use the right tools and they put a lot of focus and effort on the work. But the aim is to create a beautiful church building for uplifting, worshipful services in the church, where we can be a community. And the same thing is true with Great Lent. What are the tools that we have in Great Lent, which begins tomorrow on Forgiveness Sunday? Well, just the name Forgiveness Sunday should give you a hint as to one of the tools. It's forgiving each other and asking forgiveness. All through the year, there are times where we offend people through our words and deeds, thoughtless things that we might have said and done. We ask people to forgive us, people close, especially those who are closest to us, parents, brothers, sisters. We ask forgiveness, and we forgive them. If they've offended us in some way, we let it go. We forgive them, and we ask God to help us forgive them, because sometimes that's hard to do. So that's the first tool. The other tools are prayer, fasting, and something called alms-giving. Now, prayer, well, we come to church to pray, of course, but every one of us also needs to have our own personal rule of prayer. Orthodox people often will memorize prayers. You've probably all memorized the Lord's Prayer, but there are other prayers that you can memorize because they're sometimes called the Trisagion prayers, for example. But the prayers are important to remember, because then you can call on them wherever you are, at any time. So make an effort to not just memorize the Lord's Prayer, but some of the other prayers that we have in the church. And you can find those prayers in a prayer book. You can find them online. You can ask your parents. But it's important to have those prayers in your heart and your mind so that you can call on them whenever you can. One very easy prayer is the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me. And you just can repeat that. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me. But as I said, it's good to know lots of prayers and to have them in your heart and mind. You can call on them. Then there's fasting. Lent is known especially for fasting. It's fasting not just from food, for the kinds of food. We generally omit meat, dairy products, eggs, but we also reduce the amount of food. It's good to feel just a little bit hungry when you get up from a meal, especially during Lent. But we also fast from the kinds of entertainments that we have: television, movies, radio, computer games, all those kinds of things, even Facebook communications. We try to reduce all those things so that we can put our focus much more on prayer, on God. And then on the third tool that we have in Lent, which is alms-giving. Alms-giving is doing good deeds. Often it means giving money to people in need, but it can also be doing good things for people who need it, especially before they ask. So doing good things, doing it secretly, so others aren't there to give us praise. We're not looking for praise, but doing things quietly in a good way that help other people out. So those are some of the tools that we use during Great Lent to draw closer to God and to other people, because that's the ultimate aim of all that we're doing here, to love God and to love other people. So forgiveness, prayer, fasting, almsgiving, those are some of the tools that we use to renew our life. Just like the tools out here are being used to fix up the inside of the church, so during Great Lent, we have those other tools to fix up what's going on inside our hearts. So Christ is in our midst. Forgive me for anything that I've done or neglected to do, and God forgive us all as we begin our Great Lent.